Yo, haha, Miltnificent.
What is good, YouTube? It's your boy Miltnificent coming back with another quick sneaker review. And today we're going to go over the Jordan 5 Fire Reds that just came in today. And the reason why I got mine is because I did the whole shock drop thing. For those that got the whole shock drop, you did standard shipping, you should be seeing your pairs come in between today, which is Wednesday, and Friday, if I'm not mistaken. I think people were kind of freaked out because it was like a placeholder date for the shoe release. So if you see a date beyond the actual release day, just know it's just a placeholder. So it's just like kind of like a worst comes worst scenario if they can't get the shoe and this is the last date that they expect you to get the shoe. So I kind of expected that to happen. It happened with the last two releases. So, it's just, be patient. Just be patient. So your boy Miltnificent, today the Royal Toes released today. Jordan 1 Royal Toes release. And quite frankly, I didn't think I was going to get that shoe. That's a whole nother video, but I actually did that. I'll leave that kind of like in the link in the description because that was interesting. But I'm not complaining. Secured a pair. You are here and we are here to see the Jordan 5 Fire Reds. And the reason why I like this shoe is because it does have some history. We're accustomed to seeing the whole storyline for the Jordan 5 Fire Reds based off what you're reading online. But there is another story that goes along with this magnificent shoe. Miltnificent shoe. Nope, get the whole, never mind. But anyway, the Jordan 5 Lannies. Now, it doesn't look like this. These are the Lannies that released, I think, 2 years ago. And I like this shoe because this is representing Helm in his high school years. And for those that don't know, if you're watching the Last Dance, that's a good documentary because Jordan, at this stage, in terms of the Lanny stage, his high school years, was on the verge of actually not even playing basketball altogether. Thankfully, with the words of encouragement from his mother, and he kind of basically just said, you know what, I'll give it a go. And for those that don't know that story, he basically went to high school, tried out for the high school Lanny team, didn't make the team, came back a little bit stronger, a little bit taller, and then he made the team, again, thanks to his mom. So, without further ado, that is not the story, by the way. Without further ado, let me get this this box open, of course. Gotta make sure, you know what I'm saying? Once again, gotta make sure the whole thing's not showing because of my address and everything else on it. So let me put this down here. Been looking forward to this shoe because I'm gonna add this to the collection. It's a classic OG. And for those that's gonna ask, do I think that this is gonna sell out? I'm not making another video, so I'll just tell you straight up that I know that it is a family run on it, and if you're trying to resell it at this point, I think that for those that got there or at least copped the shock drop, you probably will make a little bit of money in terms of the resale. But if you're looking for it, like for personal pairs, do I think that it's going to sell out? I think the men's will. I don't think the kids will. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think the kids will sell just because a lot of people aren't really a fan of the Jordan OG style sneakers unless there's a lot of hype to it. And kids nowadays are looking at the vibrant colors and stuff like that. But that just happened. I think that just happened. Anyway, so let's get straight to the box. Your typical Jordan box at the Jordan 5, and it does read Jordan 13 white fire red black. Now keep in mind that these fire reds, from what I understand, the colorway is a lot more. It's the red that I expected to see on a Jordan 6 Breads. I didn't see that. That's a whole nother issue. But if I just saw the reds that I'm seeing, that I'm about to see, that we're about to see on the Jordan 5 Fire Reds on those Breads, that would have been dope. So don't forget, always check your box. Make sure that tag is matching up with the whole tag inside the shoe. Without further ado, let's open up this bad boy. Now, I've been waiting for this for a minute. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, these are different from the Lannies that I have that I just showed you. Let me get this thing open. Of course, you got to have that quality control stamp. You know me. There are no fakes on this. It's only fakes. It's only fakes. Unless the manufacturer sends fakes. So, you see that right there. All right. Got the stamp right there. I think there's anything else. Of course, got the sticker in there, and I think there's another stamp, but I think that's just the measurement of the actual box. It should be kind of like right here if you can see that. But of course you got your wax paper, but let's kind of get all that stuff out the way. Let's get into the shoe. Let's get into the story. This is why you came to look on this channel for this video. Anybody remembers the whole Jordan 5 Fire Red story? You know that Michael Jordan's, I don't want to say hatred, but dislike for the Cleveland Cavaliers, it was on an all-time high. And I like to kind of like say it's kind of similar to what Kobe Bryant and the way he kind of viewed Philadelphia, like the fans, Sixers, my Sixers, me. And he would come there, and every time Cleveland would come up on the schedule, the man would just go crazy. I mean, he could go in a slump for 3 games, but Cleveland comes up and he's on fire. I say that to say this: if you don't remember the whole Jordan jumping up in the air playoff, the infamous or famous, you should see it right here, him jumping in the air, just fist pumping, he just had a dislike for Cleveland. And March, I think 1990, if I'm not mistaken, he had a real dislike. This man dropped 69 points. 69 points. And of course, that included an overtime portion, but still won the game. And once again, it was almost like, again, what Kobe Bryant said to us Philadelphia fans during the finals, where he's going to rip our hearts out and things like that. That's exactly the way Jordan did to Cleveland. I say that because there's another story to this. Before we get to that story, let's just kind of cover over it. It's kind of similar to what I had when I did the Lanny shoes. Of course, you got the midsole with that whole fire red design. Now, here's another thing. Tinker Hatfield is the creator of the Jordan 5 Fire Reds. And what this kind of design on the midsole is supposed to represent, like Jordan, his flying capabilities. We all know how that guy can just pure glide in the air. But this is a representation of the fighter planes from World War II. And that's why we're seeing like the kind of like the flames on the midsole. So I think that's actually pretty cool. And of course, they decided to keep it Nike Air as opposed to the whole Jordan logo that's on the back for some of these retro. I think this retroed about 3 or 4 times, if I'm not mistaken. But the last one it featured the Jordan logo on the back, like you're seeing right here. Both of these, actually, they do have the 3M Reflect. We'll actually take a look at that during the on feed. And also with that whole lace lock also features the Nike symbol on it. Of course, you got the accents look nice, and synthetic leather with the netting. You're going to hear this over and over again from a lot of people. So that's why I'm not going to go too much into the shoe itself, but we're going to go back to the story. So, storyline that I'm talking about, you have to go back to the same year, 1990, when Jordan dropped 69 points against the Cavs. Of course, go back a month. So February, like around Valentine's Day, if I'm not mistaken. You got to keep in mind, we know that Jordan wore number 23. We know that Jordan wore number 45. And I'm not going to go over the storyline why he went from 23 to 45 and then back to 23, because I'm pretty sure that's going to be covered with The Last Dance at some point. That's a crucial point in Jordan's timeline. So I think at one of those episodes, they're probably going to talk about that. So I'm not going to spoil it for those that don't know the history of Jordan. And for those that do, I'm going to kind of, we all know. Eventually you'll find out. But so February 1990 happens, and Jordan is slated to play, and I'm pretty sure it is Valentine's Day. Jordan is slated to play the Orlando Magics in a regular season game. Now, keep in mind, this is not the Orlando Magic with Shaquille O'Neal. I think Shaquille O'Neal was drafted in 92. Anthony Hardaway was drafted in 93. So this was kind of like a new expansion team that was on the horizon in the NBA. And he was suiting up, and unfortunately, somebody just took it upon himself to steal his jersey, his 23 Jordan jersey. Now, I don't know how the equipment staff did everything in the past, back in the 90s, the early 90s, but there was no spare Jordan number 23. And therefore, he had to come out in the number 12. No name on the back. Kind of awkward, right? But I say that to say this because that is the same scenario where he also wore these Jordan 5 Fire Reds. You can see the picture right here displayed. And it is the only time that we've seen Jordan not wearing the number 45 or not wearing the number 23. This one game that some people forget, he wore number 12 with no name. It was so awkward. So awkward. But going back to the shoe, make sure when you get your shoes, they should come with like that whole paper shoe tree inside the shoe. And of course, I think it reads die cut sock liner on the inside. I don't know if you can see that, but there's also something in my eye. There's also something on the tongue itself that's actually, I don't know if it's protecting the 3M, so when the shipping comes in, your 3M doesn't get all scuffed up. This, if you see this in there, this is not a fake. This is straight from Nike. This is straight from Nike warehouse. They are putting these on, in fact, on both shoes, I'm guessing to protect the 3M at some point during shipment. So if you see these, don't be alarmed. Again, they're not fakes. But I just wanted to cover those two storylines, those two major storylines for when Jordan was pretty much known for wearing these Jordan 5 Fire Reds, both in the whole 69-point Cleveland game, and then when he also wore awkwardly the number 12, which just looked weird. It looked real weird, man. That's all I got to say. But without that, further said and done and all, before we do the Fire Red on feet, I just want to say, again, I can't stress this enough, treat every day like it's your last, and, you know, just be open and honest as much as possible is all I can say. But most importantly, be thankful for everything that you have, and don't take life for granted. I can't stress that enough. I cannot stress that enough. So without further ado, let's just go to the on feet. We'll do the whole on and off dark lighting, I should say, when we do these. Normally I wear a size 12.5, but this is a size 13. I do like the fact that when I put the 5s on, there's a lot of cushion. And the sock liner, there's a lot of cushion in here, and it kind of resembles, the reason why I bought the shoes, because the engineering concept is kind of similar from these 5s to these 5s. The only difference, obviously, the whole synthetic leather, then you got the suede, but outside of that, there's no number 23 on the side of the shoe, and there's no Jumpman Jordan, but both of them feature the Jumpman Jordan on the tongue. And I think the original pair, when you look on the tongue, it says Air Jordan, but I think the original pair had the Air Jordans flipped. They used to wear their shoes like this, so like this folded down, so that's why the whole Air Jordan thing is upside down, but on the newer pairs, I should say. And I think they did the same thing with, they did the same thing with the Fire Reds. They have the Air Jordan upside down, but I think the original pair, it had it kind of in reverse. So your boy Mel Never said, let's get these bad boys on, because glad to have this in the collection. And these are some heavy shoes, I can tell you right now. Wait till you get your pairs. And I'm out.